Hello and welcome. This is Kerry MacConnell. I am the PR and Marketing Manager here in the RDI Hub in Killorglin. And I'm in conversation with Liam Cronin, our CEO, who came back for his third podcast. Liam, we're getting to be old hands at this stage, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a month since we spoke last. God, there's so much has happened. I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
So listen, for people who haven't heard the first two podcasts, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Liam Cronin. I'm CEO of the RDI Hub. I'll actually be 5 years in role next week. So it's really, these podcasts have been really good around helping everyone understand what we're doing here in the RDI Hub as we continue to innovate from the edge of Europe.
That's great, Liam. Listen, it's been crazy busy here in the Hub today, which is a great complaint. We just had our AI masterclass. The most recent one is about discovering the opportunity within your business with Richard Skinner of Phased AI and Maureen O'Rourke of On Post. So how did you feel that went today?
No, I thought it went really well. I thought the case study from Maureen O'Rourke was super. Like, it's always good to have real use case examples. And Richard, I thought his session was really good in helping companies get started, because I think that's the challenge a lot of time with AI. Companies are kind of trying to figure out, where do I start? And I think he had very practical examples in terms of, like, even things like putting an AI advisory board together. How do you bring the team with you, the cultural issues? I thought in my own breakout room that I was in, there was three interesting observations that the people brought up in the room. Number one was around the return on investment in AI. I mean, there's a lot of hype around AI at the moment, but like, will the return on investment be there from the hype? That was one issue that came up. The second thing was around the whole ethics of AI again, and trustworthy AI, and how is that actually happening? And then the third one, which is obviously critical for any AI system to work, is, you need to have good data, and the whole data cleansing, data quality discussion came up. But, it's been great, the masterclasses. This was our fourth one today on the back of the Demystifying AI in February, the Microsoft Copilot in March, the EU AI Act last month in April. And I think we're getting great traction. There was a great turnout here today. Like, there was I counted over 40 people in the room. There was over 50 people, 60 people online. So there's good traction happening there. And I think where we want to go now within the RDI Hub is, now that we've done 4 and maybe 5 of these AI masterclasses next month, we want to now look at kind of doing AI strategy sessions where we get talking to some of the companies about a particular problem statement where they want to apply AI. We're also doing AI training courses, and we've got our first AI training course on Thursday on the Microsoft 365 Copilot. I believe there's about 8 people taking that, which is really, really good. So, like, that's going to be our key strategy going forward, is kind of 3 legs of the stool, really: your master classes, your strategy sessions, and your AI training, and how all those pull together to help companies on their AI journey.
Brilliant. And we're running an open week all week. It's great to see people actually using the hub. So do you want to talk us through the thinking behind the open week, opening up our doors to anybody who wants to come in and check out what we're doing?
Yeah, so, like, we're very much a community-based organisation. We really want to engage with the community. We had a very successful open day a few weeks back, where we had up to 20 people come in on that day, and some of those people have actually signed up and are going to take space. And the idea behind the open week is to encourage people to come and try and use the hub for the day and see what the experience is like. And we've some really interesting talks each day. Like, so today obviously was the AI masterclass, was the pull, for want of a better word, to get people to come in. Tomorrow it's going to be a really good goal setting session with Tom Dalton. So really looking forward to that in terms of how we define our goals. And as we get towards the middle of the year, how do we change our goals? Do we reset as we go towards the second half of the year? And then on Thursday, there's going to be a fantastic lunch and learn with Hugh Reynolds around pitching and pitch teardown and how you get your pitch across. So there's something there for everyone. And then on Friday, as we kind of head into the June Bank holiday weekend, it's going to be more around just very informal, social pizzas and zeros, as we're calling it, where we just interact and mingle and stuff. But look, it's all about opening our doors, giving people the opportunity to come in, see the hub, and see where they work. And I believe there was 2 very special people in here this afternoon, the parents of Kerry and MacConnell, who are in to see where their daughter is working, which is great to see as well.
They were blown away by it, and it's lovely because you talk about the hub, but I think you really need to walk through the doors to really get the experience, and they just couldn't get over my office, as they're calling it. So speaking of big news, though, the news that's blowing up all over our socials is Graphite Note's story. So you've known Harvey pretty much from day one. As you say, you're celebrating your 5-year anniversary here. So you must be absolutely thrilled over his announcement today.
Yeah, look, we talk a lot about what the RDI Hub vision and mission is, which is like really to support startup scale-ups, SMEs and corporates to scale and grow, creating new products and service lead technology jobs in the southwest of Ireland. And that's exactly what Graphite Note have done. And as you said, Harvey would have been one of the first people I met when I came down here in June 2019. At the time, the hub wasn't open, so we had lots of coffees, as he was telling me today, in Reedy's inside in Killarney, and we talked about different things. And Harvey at the time had an idea for a product, and when we opened, then he came on board here as a member on his own. And I suppose we supported him on the journey along the way. We helped him find his co-founder. So like in March 2021, when Vinny was delivering, Vinny Lynch was delivering the sales excellence course here, Harvey was an attendee and was so impressed by Vinny, and Vinny was so impressed by Harvey that they both joined up together on Graphite Notes. So I think we helped Harvey find his co-founder. Harvey would have gone on the NDLC program. He was on the NDLC pre-accelerator. And that really helped him to, get his pitch ready. I always remember the first time Harvey did his investor pitch, he reckoned he couldn't get it under 10 minutes. And by the time he was finished the pre-accelerator, he had it down to 30 seconds, which was fantastic. He would have been pitched at the Kerry Angel Network. And I suppose he's got a lot of other supports around over the years as well, in terms of the mentoring he got from our entrepreneur in residence, Hugh Reynolds, the peer networking he has, the support he would have got from the team, from yourself, Kerry, from a marketing perspective. Niall Larkin helped him around product development and angel investment. Fanula, the whole team have supported him, and it's just fantastic to see where it's got to. And I think the future is bright. They're in a very hot space, which is around AI and predictive analytics. It's a space we in the RDI Hub are involved in as well, through our connections with the John McCarthy AI Summer School and the work we're doing, as I said previously, around AI masterclasses and strategy and training. So having a really good AI solution now within the hub. And what it's also great is it really shows that what we're doing here regionally, that you don't have to be in Dublin to have an amazing AI startup. You can be in Kerry, you can do this regionally. And it's fantastic to see regional entrepreneurship and see the jobs that are going to come from here.
And I'm just after realising, if anyone hasn't seen the article, what's the headline? What are the figures that we're talking about?
Oh, they've raised 1.3 million and they're going to hire 25 people over the next couple of years, which is, as I said, it's exactly what the RDI was about. We always talk about we want to find the next Fexco. I think we might have just found them.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and they're fantastic guys, so wish them every success. It's brilliant. Other success stories or other exciting things that have been happening in our region would have been the Global Economic Summit last week. And we were very lucky that we held a tour. A group of people came out to actually check out the RDI Hub and see what we were all about. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about that? Yeah,
it was an amazing 3 days in Killarney last week in the Europe Hotel, where we had the inaugural Global Economic Summit. What a list of speakers and people who were attending there. All the speakers were amazing, but I suppose a couple of the standout ones for me was, the mayor of New York was just amazing, and she talked about the challenges of cities and how they were embracing AI, and there was some really good presentations there from Google and Accenture around the whole area of artificial intelligence, and then there was a lot of really good presentations around climate and sustainability as well. So there was something there for everyone, but it was also the people that were there, just the connections that were made, and I suppose for us in particular here in the RDI Hub, what was special was we had the opportunity on the Tuesday to bring Professor Mark Corley, who's the Professor of Innovation in Maynooth University, who's been involved with MasterCard and Intel, did a tour here. And I think how he described RDI Hub as an oasis of innovation was just testament to what we do here. We also had the Director of Strategic Alliances, Elaine Brennan, for Northwell Health here on Tuesday. And again, she wants to collaborate and work with us, so it's fantastic to have Elaine here. And then on Tuesday also, we had a tour where we brought 9 people out to the RDI Hub from the event as a side meeting. And we had some really senior people there from Enterprise Ireland, not just in Ireland, but in the US. So that's really good in the context of helping us with the Select USA conference coming up later in June. But also we had Kieran Shoiga, who's kind of second in command in Science Foundation Ireland. And Kieran had been here when it was a building site, and he just couldn't get over it. When he got in here, he just had to sit down and take it all in, and really seeing how it had come to fruition, and the vision that Fexco had to put the RDI Hub in place, and now to see it and what it's doing. So no, really good connections, really good summit, and well done to the Sunday Business Post and everyone that was Accenture and others and Kerry County Council that were involved in driving out the inaugural Global Economic Summit, and we're looking forward to supporting it again next year.
Yeah, and let's not forget, we need to call out a couple of people who are actually speaking at the Global Economic Summit, both from FEXCO and from the RDI Hub.
Yeah, so there was fantastic. Obviously, one of our own members, Jason Rottenberg, did a really good panel discussion. He was Bill Lau and others were involved in it around the whole area of the metaverse. Really intriguing discussion, and then Jason followed that up with some really cool demos here in the RDI Hub, which he delivered in the event space, along with some other cool demos from Dr. David. From Libar. We also had Axiot Animal Health, and we also had Graphite Note as well present when we were here in the hub. Well done again to the guys in FEXCO. Carl Foley talked about the PACE project, and then we had Sean Crow in conversation around some of the work they're doing in the whole sustainability space. So no, look, definitely a strong team, strong interaction from FEXCO and RDI Hub in the inaugural Global Economic Summit in Killarney last week, and looking forward to supporting it, as I said, again in year 2 next year.
That's great. We've got a couple of announcements, I suppose, some projects you were working on that are under wraps, but you might just kind of give us a little bit of an overview of 2 projects in particular. One is the Digital Media Apprenticeship Project. So what can you tell us about where we are at that and what we can expect from that in the coming months?
Yeah, I suppose about 3 years ago we identified a gap in the market, especially across all the innovation hubs for marketing support. I mean, and just in terms of PR and marketing and support around there. So we've worked very closely with Mayo, Sligo, Leitrim, ETB to develop out a digital media apprenticeship program. It's been a long journey in terms of getting the industry consortium steering group together, developing out the syllabus and making sure that the syllabus is as cutting edge as it can. Because you can imagine this space with artificial intelligence, with AR, VR, and with podcasting, and there's been a lot of change throughout. But I was delighted 2 weeks ago that we got in front of the QQI panel, which is kind of the final review panel, and they approved the apprenticeship program with some conditions. There's 5 conditions that have to be met and 3 recommendations, but we're confident we can address all. So the digital media apprenticeship will be listed in the apprenticeship program brochure that goes out in July, and it will officially start in September. And we're looking forward here in the RDI Hub to taking our first apprentice in September and October and working through on it. So look, a great achievement. It's been a long journey, but a real worthwhile journey, and we're really looking forward to launching it and having a minister here to launch it in September.
That's exciting. The other thing that you just mentioned just before we sat down for this podcast, talk to me about this European FinTech project.
Yeah, so look, I suppose the RDI Hub is always trying to engage more with Europe. We've been doing a lot of work in Interreg projects with tourism tech. This year, I suppose, we've also looked at the whole fintech area, and we're involved in a Horizon Europe proposal that went in with some other fintech hubs. And today, actually this morning, we presented to a delegation from Latin America. And when I say we had the Helsinki Fintech Farm, we had Fintech Portugal, Fintech Scotland, and RDI Hub presenting to the Latin American delegation about fintech trends in Ireland, what's happening in the whole area of kind of open banking, digital wallet, blockchain, and how we're supporting innovation. And I suppose what was really intriguing for me listening to the other 3 presentations is we're so similar, we're so alike, like in terms of the innovation that they're doing in Scotland and in Portugal, and very similar to what we're doing here. So and in Helsinki as well. So now that we've heard from those. I plan on visiting those hubs in the near while. They hope to come and visit us as well, and hopefully we can share. And in the meantime, hopefully that fintech proposal, which is all about supporting startups to become scale-ups, fintech startups to become scale-ups, gets funded, and we'll be driving out that project from June onwards.
So never a dull moment. That's just a whistle-stop tour of the things that are happening right now. So I suppose we'll wrap it up there until next month. And
yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing which is really exciting coming up in June as we kind of look ahead, and we'll talk more about this hopefully in our next podcast. So we've been invited to an event in Washington for the 23rd to 26th of June called Select USA. So what Select USA is it's a conference basically where SMEs from Ireland, innovation hubs like ourselves from Ireland, go to the USA for 4 days. and we meet the 50 states. They're all in the one place, and we meet some of the key decision makers, some of the key universities, and we're going there to build strategic partnerships and strategic relationships. So we'll hopefully that'll hopefully be a really interesting event, and I think it's testimony where RDI Hub is now, that we're being invited to those type of events. Really excited to be there, and tune in at the end of June. I'll give you an update on how our trip to Washington went.
There'll be a big debrief. That's great. Thanks very much, Liam. Appreciate this.
Cool. Thanks, Kerry.